I'm Paulina Leiser, producer of Focus Today. Thank you for watching this video, and make sure to check our other videos at theDove.us.
Welcome back to Focus Today, and always a delight and a joy to have back with us one of our colleagues in this business, television talk show host, political analysis, communicator, national spokesman, by the way, for the Association of Mature American Citizens, AMAC, and that is Josh Bernstein. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Great to be back with you.
Well, I wish I had you for about a week. I could give you one word and you could talk for a week. Israel, what have we done to ourselves with this thing? What do you think?
Well, I think it just shows Barack Obama's petulant man-child behavior as leading from behind. I mean, you have a situation in which was completely uncalled for. He's gone away from, years and years of Israeli-American diplomacy by, vetoing such of these natures. He abstained from the vote instead. Then you had Kerry come out and say you can either be a democracy or you can't be a country. It's just ridiculous. It just goes to show you that he's taking the scorched earth policy on the way out the door. But thankfully, Donald Trump is going to be president soon. A lot of this stuff isn't going to mean much. I believe this UN resolution will also be squandered as well. I don't think it will ever actually pass. And, we'll see what happens. But look, I mean, I think, taking 35 diplomats, Russian diplomats, and removing them from, the United States, when you only have less than 30 days left in your term, it just goes to show you more about who Barack Obama truly is than anything else.
All right, let's kind of go down that road a little bit. It seems to me this is very personal by him, that the world sees it more personal vendetta of him against Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu than it has anything to do with public policy of America. And then Benjamin Netanyahu says, we have ironclad proof that the president himself was involved in the writing of the Security Council resolution. That's very personal, isn't it?
It absolutely is. And look, I've said this for the longest time, and I'm no fan of J Street and AIPAC, some of the more liberal Jewish organizations. I believe that he's the biggest anti-Semite that's ever been president by far, much worse than even Carter was. And he has shown a proclivity over time to do things that shun Netanyahu, as far as not meeting with him about the Iran negotiations and shunning him and going on The View. He's saying bad things about him to French President Sarkozy in the past. But I think a lot of what this is, and a lot of what the media is not talking about, is this could be retaliation from President-elect Donald Trump's ambassador to Israel, David Friedman. David Friedman is a very good close friend of Donald Trump. They've known each other for years. It was his attorney. He did a lot of his bankruptcy proceedings for his hotels and casinos in the past. They have a very close relationship. David Friedman is the son of a rabbi, and he is someone that is against the two-state solution, and he is pro more Israeli settlements. He even runs an organization out of the West Bank called Beit El, B-E-I-T-E-L. So I think a lot of this was retaliation, to be honest with you, against David Friedman and Donald Trump's ambassador to Israel.
All right, that again highly suggests that it's personal. So what's behind this? Is it his own personal ideology that we're afraid to talk about? Is it his own personal faith that we're afraid to name? Is that what really is behind all of this?
Again, I think it's that he sides more with the Muslim countries of the world. He doesn't recognize Israel's right to existence, as many of these other terrorist nations and organizations such as Hamas, Hezbollah, and Muslim Brotherhood in their charters also feel. And I think that he has shown, like I said before, a disdainment, if you will, towards Israel. And look, it amazes me when 70% of Jewish Americans, again, I'm 100% Jewish, both parents, but they had gone out and blindly voted for an anti-Semite, not once, but twice. So it's just amazing to me that this has occurred so frequently. And as I said, I think he'll go down in history as the most anti-Semitic president we have ever had.
You know, it's interesting, Josh, as you're seeing now other members of Congress, Democrats, saying that this move was wrong. Roseanne Barr, of all people, said that the president's acting like a Nazi. I mean, when you got the left turning on the left, it's a new day in United States politics.
It certainly is. And I think, you know, even Roseanne Barr, someone who has been, you know, a vocal voice out there for, you know, left-leaning politics, I think she's even starting to come around. I mean, I think she supported Trump in 2016, and she, you know, obviously understands the grave situation that Israel surrounds itself. I mean, you've got the one country surrounded by sharks. I mean, it would literally be as if you were a minnow in an entire ocean full of great white sharks. And that's truly what is going on. So there can't be peace in the Middle East until the other countries that are around Israel will actually recognize their right to exist as people, as a nation state. And until they'll do that, as the great Golda Meir once said, when they start to love their children more than they hate the Jews, then there has a possibility of being peace.
Yeah, boy, that's a great line. That's a great line. So it appears to me that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has looked past President Barack Obama. He's looking to Donald Trump and saying, all right, this is just really a guy that's got a personal vendetta against me. So it seems like that Netanyahu and even Putin are being by far more adult on the response of these last days' actions by the president, looking towards Trump to reset everything. And even though the United States goes on record with the UN with this resolution, Netanyahu's looking past that and saying, look, our relationship with the United States is going to get better.
Yeah, and I truly believe that that will be the case. I think that when you actually have strength and leadership back in America, I think a lot of people are going to respect our wishes and some of our decisions. When you have someone like Barack Obama who's been leading from behind, and not just leading from behind, but in last place, truly, for the last 8 years, you know, it's going to be a completely different ballgame once Donald Trump is the president and takes over. Because I think a lot of these things would not have happened. I don't believe that the Russians would have annexed Crimea if they had a President Donald Trump in office. I don't think that they would have crossed over a red line in Syria if we had a President Donald Trump in office. So I think that there's, you know, many things, including the Arab Spring, may or may not have even have happened. I think that the Obama administration and Hillary Clinton at the Secretary of State position led to a lot of that and didn't control it and didn't have a plan, almost like Iraq in some ways. You know, you go into a country and you disrupt things and you don't have a plan to put it back together. The same thing with the Arab Spring and how that started, you know, based in Tunisia and things like that. So I think that, you know, there's a man of action is now taking over. You've seen what he's already been able to accomplish. He hasn't even been sworn in yet. You've got Sprint coming back with jobs. You've got Carrier coming back with jobs. You've got Apple's going to continue to do business here in America. You've got the Ford truck line coming back. So look, I think there's a lot of enthusiasm and optimism for 2017 and beyond. But I will tell you this, that President-elect Donald Trump's biggest opposition will be more than likely from House and Senate Republicans more than anything else. And I predict that they actually fight him harder in the first 100 days than they have ever fought Barack Obama in 8 years.
Yeah, I'm afraid of the same thing. In some ways, it's kind of sad to see a president of the United States self-destruct in 3 weeks. I mean, it really is a sad thing, isn't it?
I think he's going to go down truly as the worst president we have ever had, miles lower than the peanut farmer and Jimmy Carter. And look, you know, a lot of presidents, once they leave office, they go to Crawford, Texas, and they clear brush, or they go back to Georgia and become a peanut farmer, or what have you. This guy's going to be a thorn in the side of not just America, but the global community. And in particular, he's going to be the voice of dissent against President Trump. So I don't know. I hope that the Justice Department and Jeff Sessions really takes a serious look at a lot of these investigations through Barack Obama's presidency and hold him accountable for, you know, breaking the Constitution and breaking the law, which he has done on numerous occasions.
An interesting situation for incoming President Trump to absorb the relationship now with Russia. And and Putin, because obviously Obama tried to interfere with that by doing these sanctions and throwing some of these people out of the country. But Putin's response is, you know, somebody's got to be an adult here. I'm not even going to respond to this. Do you think we're going to see the day where Putin comes to the United States for a state dinner?
Oh, without a doubt. I can almost assure it within the first 100 days, if not even sooner. I think that there's going to be a reset in relations, and not through a staple red button. I think it'll be through real diplomacy and through mutual respect. I think that Putin understands that President Trump is a for real leader and someone that has a lot of gravitas and has a lot of experience. Now, he may not have political experience, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't have the business acumen needed that that can help change the dynamics, if you will, of American and Russian relations. I also think you have to look at the fact that President Trump has got to be strong. He's got to understand that with everything going on with Iran and with Syria and with some of these other Muslim countries, he's going to be at odds with Vladimir Putin, who has obviously been on Assad's side. So there's going to be some tension there. But I think ultimately they can work things out. Hopefully we can avoid a major conflict. But I'll tell you right now, by doing what John Kerry has recently said, and also, of course, what Barack Obama has allowed to happen through the abstention, that's going to embolden Israel's enemies around them. And gosh, I hope I'm wrong, but there could be another major attack in the next couple of months.
What if the moving of the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem could be very provocative, don't you think?
It certainly could, and that's something that David Friedman has promised that he would like to do. He's also, as Benjamin Netanyahu has also said, they are going to continue defying the UN, and they're going to continue to make more and more settlements. As I said before, the two-state solution is a fairy tale until there's a recognition, if you will, of Israel's right to exist. Without that, you can't really do anything. And Benjamin Netanyahu, to his credit, just put out a video the other day, and he said it is. He called it genocide. He said their main condition for a two-state solution is to remove all Jews, from the area. It's just not feasible, and it won't be feasible or workable.
All right, so the UN has certainly deemed itself to be impotent. I mean, is it time for it to just close it down, turn it into high-rise? I mean, do you really think this is a possibility, even if we cut a huge portion of the budget out?
Well, America is responsible for 22% of the entire budget of the United Nations. That's a pretty large chunk of change there. Other countries don't even come close to that amount. So you knock out that 22%, and again, I'll give Ted Cruz some credit here. He's the one that's introducing legislation to do just that. But I think I'd like to take it a step further, as you just mentioned. Let's just get out of it. I mean, it's an anti-American, anti-Semitic, anti-Israel, globalist, pro-globalist organization. It's not there for what it's supposed to be there for anymore. I say we close it down, get rid of it, put it in another country, and either build condos on the land or put up a children's park or playground or something like that. But the land could be a lot more useful.
Isn't it interesting that it's possible in the end here, Josh, that the United States and Israel stand alone, together, but alone?
Yeah, it is possible. However, as I said before, I think, look, you've got Rex Tillerson, who knows everybody pretty much around the entire globe because of his position with ExxonMobil. You've got Donald Trump, who's smart. He's not reactionary. I don't think that he would be, a trigger-happy type of person. And I think that, diplomacy is going to win out in the end. I think that you've got Vice President Mike Pence, who's an extremely smart and articulate, bright guy. You've got Stephen K. Bannon. You've got Kellyanne Conway. You've got some other, great people that have the president-elect's ear. So I think, that's all blown over proportion. I would have said, though, if, God forbid, Hillary would have won, we would have had more of a chance, certainly, to be in a major global conflict.
There's also this thinking out there that the uncertainty of a Trump presidency, and what I mean by that term uncertainty is that he does have a little bit of an image that he is a quick responder, that actually works in his favor on foreign diplomacy because the other guys just may not know what he will do.
Yeah. I think you're right. I do. I think that, the fact that he is using Twitter and using social media and Facebook and things like that to basically circumvent the media and go right around the media and go right to the source, right to the people that are important, I think is a big, big plus for him because, again, as I said, he's going to meet a lot of resistance on Capitol Hill from both parties, unfortunately. And the only way he's going to get this agenda done is going to be through us, we the people. He's going to have to circumvent the media as he's been doing for a long time and put out these little, 1.5, 2-minute videos. And boom, send it right to us, and then we'll be the civic activists to contact, the Congress members and things like that to put the pressure on them to do it.
We're in for a new day how he uses social media. One last question, Josh. Do you think that the establishment Republicans who would oppose some of his cabinet nominees in some of these hearings can survive? I mean, if they vote against one of his cabinet members, with the mood of the country that put him in the presidency, could they survive this?
Well, yeah, that's a good question. It's hard to say whether they could survive or not. Someone like a John McCain or Lindsey Graham, unfortunately, probably could because they've been entrenched for so long. And, there's really not a lot of competition out there. I mean, people have tried. Kelly Ward has tried to take out, John McCain, and others have tried to run against Lindsey Graham. But these are entrenched folks with all the money and the backing and the lobbyists and everything else. So it would be very difficult. If there's a wholesale rejection, then yeah, I think that you could see another group of 8 or group of 7 that points to them as the culprits of blocking certain things. But look, I see the normal characters, the Olympia Snows, the John McCains, the Lindsey Grahams, some of these others. I see them as the ones that are going to be the potential people that will vote against and block some of these nominations, unfortunately.
Are you surprised that Newt Gingrich and Rudy Giuliani and Mike Huckabee, Chris Christie didn't end up somewhere on the team?
Yeah, I am actually, kind of. I think I'm not sure about Newt because I think their relationship can be hot and cold between President-elect Donald Trump and him. Newt's a great person. He's an extremely brilliant mind and really knows his stuff. I love Rudy Giuliani. I'm not sure why. Maybe they thought there was too many conflicts of interest with business interests outside. I don't know. I didn't get the whole scoop on that. But I am surprised. I'm also surprised to see that Sarah Palin hasn't been part of the cabinet as of yet. At least I don't think so. And Mike Huckabee is great. I mean, he would be great as maybe outreach coordinator for religious, opportunities and things like that. There's a number of different things that he could do. He has a lot of experience too. One of the
rumor, that's all it is Giuliani's waiting to take over from James Comey.
You know what? That's it's a rumor, and it could be a great position for him. I would love to see somebody on our side for once that wasn't a longtime shill of the Clintons and was going to cover for Lynch and Obama. So you are correct. I would love to see Rudy Giuliani in a position like that. I think that we'd finally bring integrity back to the FBI, and I believe that the rank and file would certainly respect a boss like Rudy Giuliani.
All right, good to see you, Josh. Happy New Year, my friend. And I want to say to our viewers and listeners, you can go to joshbernsteinpoliticalwriter.com. That's his website. And check out things. And don't forget to check out AMAC, A-M-A-C, which is the Association of Mature American Citizens. That's the one to join, not AARP, but AMAC, A-M-A-C. Thanks, buddy. Happy New Year. Talk to you again soon.
Happy New Year to you as well.
All right. God bless. We'll be right back.